Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. Today I am going to be looking at and analyzing Bill Gates and all of his astrological placements. For those of you waiting, I will be coming on today on my Patreon to do a live Q&A. So please stay tuned. That will be happening later today. I have been asked to look at this chart by a few people because it is a very serious chart. We're dealing with a person that has an incredible amount of influence in the world. So I thought, why not show you what his chart looks like? So if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. If you don't know who I am an artist and author. I am the artist and author of the El Goliath Tarot deck. It's a tarot deck that I published a few years ago. I have revived the deck and actually brought it back and done a very minimal pocket size edition, which is my third edition. And the guidebook is just all downloadable from my website or from purchasing it. Also, if you would like me to unpack your chart at great length, or if you'd like to book me for a spiritual phone consultation, please do so. I am a full-time working mystic. So yes, I do readings all day long, in between other things. So yes, I look at your chart, or I can do a recording and send it to you, or if you'd like, you can speak to me on the phone. We can chat via Signal app or WhatsApp. So go ahead and book me if you'd like to, or pick up a copy of my tarot deck. And without further ado, let's just get on with this reading and have a look at Mr. Bill Gates' chart. So I've been able to get the most accurate birthday I can for him. So according to these calculations, he is a Scorpion. I have talked about Scorpios at great length. I also have some videos unpacking the dark side of the Scorpions. If you'd like to go back and have a look at my Dark-Sided series, where I look at the sun signs and what becomes of a human when they behave purely, in their sun sign. The darker aspects of a Scorpion is a very, very scary thing to behold in the world. I have a lot of experience with dark-sided Scorpios. So, it's a very, very scary world inside a Scorpio's head if they are dark-sided. And when I say dark-sided, I mean controlling, I mean manipulative, and especially when we deal with a powerful human that gets this much power in the world. We're dealing with a being now that is or can be very easily influenced by the demonic world, which is pretty obvious at this stage that Bill Gates is. So, according to these calculations, he was born on October the 28th in 1955 at 10 p.m. So that's the closest time we have here. If you're new to astrology, I want to assure you that everything in nature and time, determinism versus free will, is beyond something a human can. Let's just put it this way. A lot of astrology is actually beyond human comprehension. So everything has a time and a space and a place. Every force in this world that rises somewhere, an equal or opposite force rises somewhere else, without getting too meta on you. But yes, so his full name was William Henry Bill Gates the third. I'll be talking about that in a minute. And yes, he is an American business mogul, philanthropist, investor, computer programmer, and inventor. And he has basically changed the world on so many levels through technology, through being the executive creator and chairman of Microsoft. Yes, he does own the world's largest software company. He co-founded it with Mr. Paul Allen. And he has been ranked on Forbes lists over the past few years as the wealthiest man in the world. And at one stage in 2011, he was the wealthiest man in the world. So this is some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm going to bring up all of his charts. So according to these calculations, let's just do an overview. His sun sign is sitting in the Scorpion. It's quite a low degree, so it's a Virgo Scorpion. So I'll be talking about that in a minute. It's at 5 degrees. So in astrology, the degree of a placement is very important. So the heavier the degree, the higher the aspect that sign will have in that planet. Okay, and then the houses in astrology is how that plays out in a human's life, which I've also done videos, which I'm still going to be continuing, where I'm talking about the houses and what all of the houses mean. So he's a Scorpio sun. He is a moon in Aries, same as me. He's got a Mercury in Libra, same as me. Scary. Venus in Scorpio, also the same as me. So it's like, holy shit, this guy is a little bit scary. He's got his Mars Libra, and then he's got his Jupiter in Leo way up at 27 degrees at an anaretic degree. So that's a very, very high degree. So this man is destined to be known. He's destined to be seen, and it's pretty intense. His Saturn is sitting in Scorpio. So we know Saturn is trials, tribulations. And sitting in a Scorpio placement, it's like death and understanding or mastery of death is what's jumping out at me straight away at that degree in Saturn. So Scorpio deals in sex, death, rebirth, regeneration, that type of thing. So it's like he wants to control death, control life in a way. That's pretty interesting. And his Jupiter in Leo people always accumulate power. They're completely obsessed with power. Let's have a look. So we've got Pluto. Yes, okay. Pluto in Leo. So, and that's at 28 degrees. So Pluto is where Pluto is hell. Pluto is the depths. So he's got that in Leo. So when we see a Pluto in the transformation aspect of rebirth, it's like at some point he's become so wealthy and powerful, he's not living in survival mode. So we have to understand, when we're looking at a person of this level of wealth and power, their mindset is operating on a very, very different level to a normal human. He is not living in a survival mindset. All right. So I've talked about this before, when a human isn't dealing with human day-to-day affairs like a normal person would be, they start to transcend reality. So they kind of live in a bubble. They live very, very wealthy, influential people live in a bubble. They have people that kind of like agree with everything that they say, because obviously what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So people will indulge in their fantasies. They will indulge in their viewpoint of the world and not disagree with them. And then, of course, they don't just want to acquire more land or more houses. They acquire power over influencing the world. So when I say the world, I mean humans. So we see that a lot with Mr. Elon Musk, and we see that with a lot of other tech bro people. When they get to this kind of level of godhood, they want to express themselves over the top of other people. So this man is influencing how people interact with each other. He's influencing power over how others think, mind control, all of that type of stuff. That all plays into a dark aspect of a Jupiter within Leo. This is a very power-hungry man. All right, so that's what I'm getting there straight up. So let's start to tune in a little bit and see what is going on with him. And why is he so obsessed with power? I see that his rising is actually sitting in the Cancer. And I'm going to talk about that. I want to just explain to you, when we have a Cancer rising or a Cancer moon against a Scorpio sun, this is someone that is very much feeling a need of like being a father to the world. It's someone who sees themselves or positions themselves in a way that it's like a God complex. They start obsessing over the need for more wealth. This type of placement is someone that really needs money, really wants money, really is like very much focused on the accumulation of wealth. All right. So the Cancer degree, because Cancers are very good at like checking accounts, banking accounts. There's a very strong aspect to a lot of like what we call the billionaire placement. When we see Cancer rising or Cancer moons in particular, this is if it's aspected well against a Scorpio sun in its degree. And it's very high. It's like, at a very high degree. It's at the 29th degree. So it's like someone that knows how to accumulate wealth and someone that is very concerned with saving. It can be a very miserly person, especially in the start of their life. They understand time management very well. So when he kind of started earlier in his career, he was really understanding how to, collect power, how to accumulate power. Because Scorpio is all about power. Scorpio is all about control. So it's like that's what makes, they'll control everyone around them. They'll manipulate everyone around them. Same with the Cancers. Cancers are very, very manipulative, and they like to put themselves in the center of things, just like a Leo aspect does. So it's like lending things to others, putting people in a house and then not letting them leave. Okay, that's a very nasty aspect to the Cancer rising, but that's kind of who he is. So he's very, very power hungry. Okay, so when we look at this, I can see he would have collected a lot of things with that Cancer rising that's stepping out to me. He would have collected like coins, or he collected cars. He collected like just things that he could collect, things of sentimental hold. So he's very, very materialistic. But as we know, when a lot of billionaires get to this level of wealth, they stop focusing on the acquisition of materiality and they start focusing on the control of humans. Okay, we can see that with Elon Musk, with like developing AI and things like that. They want to be the one to control the world. He's got a very strong sense of like he's got a nasty spirit. That's what I'm getting. So it's like he's nasty. He's very vicious. He can be very vengeful, and he remembers people that disobeyed him. He remembers people that did not agree with him. And he's very, very good at trapping people that are smarter than him to do his bidding. That's kind of what a lot of billionaires do. They get a lot of tech bro teams underneath them, sign them to an inch of their life, and then kind of make them work for them to make the technology. So and that's also another aspect that I'm seeing here with his rising in Cancer is not really a creator. Cancers can be creative a little bit, but they're very good at copying or mirroring. Cancers do that a lot. That's also aspected in Gemini. Gemini and Cancers mirror. Okay, so he mirrors things. So that's kind of like what he sees. It's like he sees people as his slaves. Okay, and it's all for him to like hoard or accumulate power. All right, so I do see he's very interested in research. Like he's got a lot of lab teams. He wants to be the first to create something that's being, put out in the world that no one else can do. And that's where his ego kind of sits. Now he's in a 20, so his Cancer is about 26 degrees and it's aspected in Taurus in the second house. So that tells me that it's very much about resources, finance, and material values is where it all sits. So it's all kind of like for him. Taurus in the second house is accumulating money for the self. It's about how can I make more money, make money. So from an early age, he would have realized what we call time versus money. So it's like he understands time management and how to double or quadruple time. So the more money someone has, the more time someone has. So he wants time. That's what I'm getting shown. I have seen, and so this is a very kind of like scary placement, because I think I was looking at Amber Heard's chart at one stage, and I think I saw the same thing. He's very good at like, he's a psychopath, but it's like he has this really intense need for fame, and he has this ability to minimize people around him and play characters that people need him to. With that risings in Cancer, it's like he wants the world to see him as a father. He wants the world to see him as a daddy. A lot of Cancer people always end up in like non-for-profit organizations. A lot of Cancer rising people or Cancer sun people can end up as lawyers, because once they understand how to control the bank, or how to control law, how to manipulate law, how to find loopholes in different, constructs of law around the world, they because law controls the people. So he's very good at hiding, and that Scorpio aspect to him of his sun playing out with his rising in Cancer is like he is what Cancers and Scorpios do a lot. They position themselves in things that are more powerful than them and kind of go under a rock and hide. So it's about self-protection. But he knows, like, to accumulate power, he needs power. So he's always positioned himself in organizations that are bigger than him, that will make him appear to be the hero or the savior. We see that a lot with Elon Musk's chart as well, as a Cancer. So it's like they need you to see them as the hero or the daddy, the father figure. That's the Cancer rising aspect that we have here in his chart. And so, yeah, he's very scared of like losing money. He's very scared of losing power. So he's very frugal. Cancer rising people, Cancer sun people are very frugal. From a young age, he would have been like saving. Like, I see a lot of bank accounts around him and just hoarding everything. He's got a very strong sentimental attachment to like revenge as well. So let's have a look and continue. What else have we got? He's very eccentric as well. I can see there we've got he's got an innovation and rebellion against Uranus. So it's like he's always coming up with new ways to play with technology, control technology, or even like become like technology itself. Uranus energy to me is like electricity. So it's like he's very innovative with in terms of how to create power. So that's really what it is. It's just all power focused. That's what it really. It's like, fuck. All right, so let's have a look. I'm going to place this video on hold for a minute. I'm just going to channel and lay on the floor, and I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm back. I've just been laying on the floor and just focusing because there's just such a wave of energy coming through from just looking at Bill's chart. So I'm going to continue looking at this and let's get on with it. So his moon is in Aries. So an Aries moon is someone that is very competitive, someone that kind of wants to come first. And it's like trying to make something happen from nothing. So they're kind of obsessing over making something happen. He doesn't like to wait. Moon in Aries people take a lot of risks. They understand that no risk equals no reward. And that's kind of interesting because that moon in Aries for him is really playing out. Like, he's a lunar Aries, but he's got his rising in the Cancer. So it's like risk management is a big thing for him. A lot of Cancer people work in risk management or in HR. So he's really had to learn how to position himself around people that can make him feel safe. And he has very, very strong advisors around him about risks. But his risk taking is really a big thing for him. He understands no risk equals no reward. He's going to have a terrible temper as well. Aries moon people, oddly enough, can be very defensive, and they like to have a lot of assistance. A lot of people around him that will be like a middleman to the public getting access to him. So he'd have like a whole, full-time working team of lawyers around him that would be very good at making things kind of like go away. All right. But he's very ruthless in dealings with business. And like when he goes up against an opponent, he wants to absolutely destroy them. Like he wants his opponent to be crushed and dead, that type of thing. Aries moon is, it's a bit scary, at times. It's very competitive. For him, his Aries moon is actually playing out in the 10th house. So it's like, it's a public thing. So it's like Aries energy to him is like he sees himself as the emperor, like emperor. He wants recognition, he wants acknowledgement, he wants power. And I mean, this is a geek. This is the thing about a lot of the tech bro people, like Elon, and of course, like Bill. It's like these are people, and Zuckerberg, like they're people that were overlooked in high school. They're people that were not high in sexual marketplace value. So these are people that are deeply wounded from their ego not getting picked first, not getting the date first. So it's kind of like the feeling that I get here with him, as I was just channeling before and laying on the floor, it's like the hole that's in his soul is determined, the depth of how deep that is by how much rejection or how much he felt unloved, and that's where a lot of this emptiness comes from. With humans, all things are a call to love or a call to the overcompensation for lack of love. So the more that someone wants something in the physical world, it's like he's got like a bone to pick with the world. He's got a chip on his shoulder. So that's the depth of the pain. The depth of the hole is the depth of how far he'll go to fulfill the hole. Okay? Yeah, so an Aries moon in the 10th house is someone who's very, very ambitious. The 10th house rules the midheaven, and the midheaven for him is in Capricorn. So it's all playing out in a public house. Capricorn deals in the midheaven. So it's all like his dedication to his mastery of his public image is everything to him. And it's all playing out publicly. So it's like he's tried to keep his private life very private, but it's like it's all been playing out. When I see a moon in the 10th house in Capricorn, that's someone that will have a lot of like NDAs that they'll put on people to sign so people can't talk about them publicly. So it's a lot of silencing happens. He's very satanic. That's what I'm getting. That Capricorn midheaven with that Aries moon, it's like he's in a struggle with himself. He's in a struggle for how much more power can I get? How can I control? So that's fucking scary. He likes to be in the middle of conflict. Like he gets a rise out of creating conflict as well for other people. All right, so let's have a look. Let's move on. He's got his Mercury in Libra. So, at times he can be very charming. He can be he's very good with words. He's very good with, he's good with manipulation. A Mercury in Libra is someone who's very good with manipulation. In terms of the heart, he's got his Mercury in the 4th house. So the 4th house rules Cancer. So it's like in terms of his family, he is, the center. Like everything that is in his chart, it's all coming back to him being in the middle. He's got to be in the middle. The thing that I'm getting here is that he's actually very restless and very awkward. With that lunar Aries placement, it's like I think he has like ADHD or something. Like he's always moving and twitching. And with his Mercury in Libra, he doesn't really answer questions. So Cancer rising people don't answer questions. They don't like direct questions. I have seen some interviews with Bill where he's been asked a very clear question and he kind of he does the Libra thing. He's in the middle. He answers questions with questions. He doesn't answer the question directly. He doesn't want you to give him a direct question. He deflects it with a question. Blah, 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 blah. So a lot of word salad. He's very good at confusing people. He would have been a very, very good lawyer. And I think he was born into a very wealthy family that was kind of groomed him to be this thing. When we look at a lot of the elites, we actually can trace bloodlines and family lines, and you'll see connections to, the Rothschilds, connections to banking cartel. You'll see a lot of that playing out in their family line. But the thing that keeps coming up to me is that 26 degree in Cancer, which is the millionaire aspect. And that's the thing that's ruling his chart. It's a public, he's all about reputation, but it's a public aspect to him that is insatiable. Like, it just needs more and more power, like billions of dollars. It's like he sees himself as a god, he sees himself as like the father. And that's where a lot of this darker aspects, like I would say, he's definitely merged himself with demons and the lower astral. The subatomic plane is kind of coming into my head. I'm getting shown that he wants to send the world into blackness. I did hear that he has publicly declared that he wants to block out the sun. So it's like this God complex that he has is like it's like what I'm getting, it's like he is wanting to depopulate the world. He wants to be God. He wants to decide who lives and who dies. That type of power is what's coming through. So he wants to be the one that controls the world. Like, he sees himself as a god. I've also seen that when he's in interviews, Bill is very twitchy and kind of jumpy and googly. He looks very googly. I would actually say that he's merged with the demonic. So it's like the demons, or a demon is kind of inside of him. As an occultist, when I don't want to go too heavy into this, but when it comes to demonic possession, it's like it takes an insane amount of energy for a demon to kind of manifest physically in the physical world. That's why demons always go for hosts. So when someone behaves like a demon, they are aligning themselves with the demonic world, where it's like inviting the demon into their body. So it's kind of like what I get here. It's like he's merged himself with the demonic world. He sees demons as kind of like his teacher. So it's like there's a hierarchy of energy that sits within him, where it's like he's having internal dialogues with a demon. Okay, I know that sounds intense, but that's what I'm getting. He's very obsessed with the occult knowledge. So he's very into like the study of demons, the study of angels. I see a lot of sigils around him. Now I'm kind of like just channeling what I'm seeing. I see a lot of sickness around him as well. So it's like he likes people being sick. It's like he's moved into this mad scientist kind of thing. And that Aquarius, I just want to have a look and see where the Aquarius placements are at. His Venus was in the 5th house. His Venus was in Scorpio. I have that actual placement as well. So it's like when he's committing to something, it's full commitment. Like, he's very intense. A Venus and Scorpio lover is someone that will want to possess you and own you. They see their partners as an extension of them, and it's a very much like a need to control their partner. And the Venus in the 5th house, Leo rules the 5th house, so it's like, it's like the daddy, the boss. It's performative. Leo is performative. Mars in Libra is what we looked at as well. So it's about getting things done, and that's back in the 4th house. So the ruling planet of his whole chart is actually Cancer. It's all the 4th house. There's a lot of 4th house placements here. He's very resentful. He's got a lot of resentment. Cancers can be very resentful, and that's what's coming through there. Now, he's got his Uranus in Leo. So it's like he sees freedom and independence as through technology. So it's like he wants to advance the human race through technology. It's like transhumanism. He wants people to merge with like having chips in themselves. He wants to like rebel against the natural world. Okay. And that's playing out in the first house. For his Uranus in Leo is in the first house. So it's like he wants to be the person that makes people merge with chips. You know, he wants to be the one. Yeah, it's so interesting as I'm channeling this. I can feel a pull of energy that's kind of scrambling me, even as I'm channeling him right now. Like I can feel that. I don't know if you can feel it in my voice, but I can feel it. It's like when I come near him, it's like he's got protection or he's got some kind of frequency around him that scrambles things around him when occultists try to channel him. But yeah, he doesn't, what I'm getting shown is like enemy of God. That's what I'm getting. It's like enemy of God, a person that goes against nature. So like bioengineering is what he's into, like creating fruit and food and playing around with cells. It's like he wants to create a world that is built in his image. So he's very obsessed with immortality as well. Like as a lot of these elite billionaires are, they don't like the idea of like the natural aging process. He wants to live forever. You know, an Aries moon is someone that wants to live forever, or they create like a legacy that lives on outside of them. So that's what he's kind of focusing on right now. But yeah, it's like he wants, as I'm channeling, it's like with this thing with the sun, it's like the sun brings life and the sun brings light to everything. And what I get there, it's like he wants to destroy that. He wants to block out the sun. You know, it's like he sees himself as like an Avengers villain. Like, you know, if you were watching a Marvel film and there was like a villain in there that wanted to block out the sun, you would kind of laugh and think that's a bit crazy. But to him, he sees like it's like an evil villain. Like he sees himself as that way, projecting to people. So it's like he wants to be the one to control life on the planet of what can grow. So it's very nefarious. So it's like we know that Jesus of Nazareth and light equals like life. He wants to take the light and the sun away. He wants to make it dark and make us go into like a blackout. So yeah, he's very focused on like chemical engineering, solar geoengineering. It's just like I get chemtrails. I'm kind of channeling like it's like playing around with cells. But the thing is, he's not creating anything. You know, he's not making something from nothing. You know, he's only taking cells of things that were already there and then mixing them around and then declaring that he's made something. You know, he didn't create, you know, that's the thing about science, which I talk about with scientists a lot. Science is only the measurement of something. So it's like, you know, humans can only measure something from the tools that they've created. So he sees himself as a god that wants to kill the spirit. That's what's coming through. I'm just channeling now. I'm not sure what his involvement was around the fires around Maui, but I'm getting shown he had something to do with that as well. Yeah, it's like I see him buying up lots of land. You know, that second house with the Taurus. It's like if he bought up more land, it's like he could almost control like a very large populace of America from him just owning so much land as well. So it's like he's buying up land so others can't have it. He's insanely greedy. What I'm getting is in time, I actually see him wanting to have like temples or mosques or some kind of like statue erected about him or some kind of level of temple built to him. I think underneath his house, or not far from where he lives, he does have a satanic temple that he goes to. And there's like spiritual, it's so strange. It's like, as I'm channeling, it's like I'm getting pushed off as I'm trying to focus. I just see people like dressed up in like Ku Klux Klan clothes, like black silk and robes, and they're all standing around. But yeah, it's like they do spells on him to project him forward. Like he's got a lot of spell work on him. But yeah, there's a lot of his association is coming through with the World Health Organization. It's showing me WHO. So it's like they're working on numerous vaccines and, you know, just trying to work out how they can get more influence with like digital ID and things like that. That's what's really there. It's interesting as I'm channeling. I've never had this before as I start channeling with someone. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm getting shown it's like his relationship with Melinda was all orchestrated. So I'm not sure what happened there, but it's like it was a strategic partnership or a marriage of convenience is what I'm being shown. I think I'm getting shown that she's a Leo. So I think he's a Scorpio and Leos. They're very much like he sees relationships as like a business partnership. I'm getting shown the 10th house around his family. So he's very, and that's would make sense with the daddy aspect that I was talking about before, because his father was actually one of the people that funded and created Planned Parenthood. So it's like he's all caught up in eugenics and population reduction. So I also see a connection here with him to the Antichrist. So it's like whatever Jesus created, he is trying to usher forth a time that will reverse what was done in light. So it's like showing he's connected to the Antichrist, or they're trying to work out a way to bring that forward, which is also connected to AI, which is also like a dark mirror of humans creating a version of themselves, mirroring back to the world. But he's very powerful. Like this is one of the most powerful people on the planet. He's connected to the Rockefellers. He's connected to senators, Anthony Fauci, Irene Diamond. I see like he's got this, it's a secret society that he's very much plugged into. It's an immense level of wealth and power. But it's all in, it's showing me like, I get shown like a frequency around this where it's like he's in a closet. It's like he's got so much stuff going on around him that's like hiding things. And yeah, it's like all connected to banking elites as well. So he's just trying to arm himself with as much tools as he can get. He's a total sadist. He's very narcissistic. He enjoys suffering. Like he likes to see animals get hurt. He likes to see people be punished or hurt. It's all very much on his Uranus ascendant against that Aquarius. It's like he's detached from humanity. He sees himself above humans. Like he sees himself as some kind of alien that's here to do some kind of demonic level of work. So it's like he's definitely got a possession aspect to him with demons, talking to demons, working with them, listening to their influence. There's also a sextile in his energy in Neptune, which is in Lilith. So yeah, it's a very strong Lilith aspect to him. His Lilith is in Sagittarius, so he's very restless. And that would make sense why he's always like twitching and moving, and he's all about expansion. It's all about expansion. So if he can control and get to a certain point of power in the physical world, he's very obsessed with the occult and the spiritual world. I also see he's trying to, with his Pluto in Leo, I also see he's trying to figure out a way to clone himself, or to try and like make a way for him to live on like his consciousness in his brain. Like I often see a lot of Leo people, and Cancerians will do this as well. They like kind of create little mini-me's. Like they make little baby versions of themselves, like purely like even a lot of gay Leos and gay Cancerians will go and pay someone to have their baby so they can like see themselves out as a version of them out in the world after they physically die. So their legacy of their consciousness is like creating a little doll that goes out in the world that becomes another version of them. So that's what he's trying to do. And he sees himself in that way with like his technology. Like he sees himself as a self-expression that will live on after he has gone. So it's really fucking scary. This is insane. Wow. It's like, whoa. Yeah, okay. So he's got a Neptune in the fourth. So what I see, it's like a broader scale of past, present, and future. So with the vaccines it is created, I'm getting shown it's like he's, I wouldn't be surprised if his DNA or if it was like some kind of, because with the mRNA, the vaccine, I'm getting shown like DNA from something else put into the vaccines that was put onto people. I'm also seeing a connection to the upper ranks of the Freemasons as well. They were connected to the vaccines as well. So it's like the DNA that was in the vaccines is what's put into people, if that makes sense. Yeah, wow. I know this is all over the shop, but it's like I can't help it. It's just when I start to channel on this level, it starts to knock me off course. So that's how I know I'm hitting something. But yeah, I think I might just leave it here. It's really like, yeah, I've never looked at a chart like this before or connected with an energy like this. But when I've done this before in certain times in my life, and I've done readings for people, and it could be like an ancestor on the other side, or it could be another occultist that is working to control a frequency around a person. So it's a little bit like you try and steer a ship towards them, and it's like the current knocks you away off the person. So that's what I'm getting with this chart reading. But this is what I've been able to channel. And I know it's all over the shop, but yeah, I'm just going to upload this and see what you think. I hope all of this makes sense, but it's pretty scary stuff. So leave the comments below and let me know what you think. But yes, I will see you in the next upload. Bye.